This is the continuation of the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, I have derived the transfer function of the matched filter in the frequency domain. It is given by g of f equal to s conjugate of f divided by n of f. And n of f is the power spectral density of the noise. You have the filter, its impulse response is g of t, and if you take Fourier transform you will get g of f, and this g of f we got it, and the input is v of t, that is a received signal, and the output is u of t. Now in this lecture let me discuss how it works, or how it maximizes the signal to noise ratio, or why it maximizes the signal to noise ratio. So intuitively we will try to appreciate that fact. Basically what you notice is that the transfer function is given as g of f equal to s conjugate of f divided by n of f. You have two functions, one in the numerator and another one is in the denominator. Now this is from signal and this is coming from the noise, right? So the transfer function will have large values when the numerator is large, right? And the transfer function has less value when the denominator is low. So the transfer function, you can think of like it gives some kind of weightage in the input signal, some kind of weightage, like this input is multiplied by g of f. So it is a multiplying function, and whenever the numerator is high it gives more weightage, and whenever the denominator is high it gives a less weightage. That means what? The transfer function will have larger values at those frequencies where the SNR is large. So you can think of this like SNR, like a signal power and the noise power. So it will have a small values at those frequencies where the input SNR is poor. You can think in terms of input signal to noise ratio. So basically what a matched filter is really doing for you, or a whitened matched filter is really doing for you, is whitening the input signal in the frequency domain according to the signal to noise ratios present at different frequencies. Now the components which have most contribution from the signal only are highlighted. So see, if you take S of f, at some frequency component, you have maximum value. Those frequency components are highlighted. Let's say the frequency is f1. At this point you will have maximum value, so this value will be highlighted. Highlighted means given more weightage, and wherever the noise is more, and that is not given more weightage. And the components which are more noisy, those frequency components which are basically getting information from the noise, which basically contain energy from the noise, are the ones which are suppressed, because the noise component is in the denominator. Whenever the noise is more, that will be decrease the signal to noise ratio. That means what? Your noise component will not be amplified at the output. Okay. So you can choose a weighting function or a transfer function which depends on the input signal to noise ratio at different frequencies. Therefore, if the SNR is high, that will for that it gives more weightage. If SNR is low, it gives low weightage. So essentially, you are increasing the signal to noise ratio when the input SNR is high, and you are decreasing the SNR when the input SNR is low. So the thing is, if input SNR is high, then matched filter gives more weightage, or more weightage or amplification. Okay. Similarly, if input SNR is lower, then matched filter gives very less weightage. That means what? Whenever the signal is good, then you are doing, you are amplifying the signal. So essentially, in turn it says, when the signal is good, then you are amplifying the signal. And if the signal is not good enough, the noise is more, you are dividing the noise, or suppressing the noise. Okay. And the reason why it is called a matched filter is simply because of the following reasons. Now the next thing is, why is it called a matched filter? Okay, now we know that the transfer function g of f is given by s conjugate of f divided by n of f. Now you can think of this transfer function as follows. Okay, let me write down multiplication of two functions, 1 over n of f times s conjugate of, so it is cascade of two functions. So instead of writing s conjugate of f divided by n of f like this, the same thing equivalently I can write as, first let me write down 1 over n of f, and this is in cascade with another function s conjugate of f, and this is the input and this is output. So now let us look at the output here in this point. So let us see how it comes. So what will be the spectrum of the noise here? Spectrum, because let us say first, let us consider two cases. Case 1, input is only noise. Only noise. In such a case, what happens? The input noise is like n of f, and this is 1 by n of f. So in this point, you'll get 1. So it will be constant and equal to 1. So whatever noise is present here in this point in the input, which is white end here. White end means what? For all frequency, it is giving constant amplitude. So this is your frequency axis. So at this point, your spectrum looks like this. For if the input is noise. Okay, so this figure is only for when the input is noise. When the input is noise alone, then at this point the noise is equal to constant, or the output of this block is constant, which is equal to 1. So whatever noise is present in the input, which is white end here, and then of course if the signal is present, let's take case 2. If signal is present, you have 1 over n by f, and this is s conjugate of f, and signal plus noise, and signal also modified by 1 by f, and again you are multiplying by s conjugate of f. Therefore, when we pass it through a filter which is really matched to the signal itself, say this is my signal, the signal is matched to the signal itself. That is why this is called a matched filter. And the noise is white end for all frequency component, for it becomes 1. The magnitude is 1 for all noise frequencies. So that's why it is called a white end. And since the input signal is matched to the signal itself, see the signal is denoted by s of t. And if you take Fourier transform, if it is complex signal, s conjugate of f, or let me say s of f, and this s of f is matched to the same, this block is matched to the signal itself, Fourier transform of the signal itself. Therefore, we can say matched. Okay, so the filter is matched to the signal itself. Therefore, this is called a matched filter, or the filter transfer function is matched to the filter transfer function is matched to the signal itself. So it is called a matched filter. Now let us take the specific case, like when your noise is white Gaussian noise. Let's assume the noise is white Gaussian noise. Let's say the n of t is white Gaussian noise. So when you take Fourier transform of this white Gaussian noise, then n of f is equal to some constant n0 over 2. Now what will be the transfer function of the filter? We know that for the general case, g of f equal to s conjugate of f over n of f times e to the minus j 2 pi f and t naught, some arbitrary time constant. Now you substitute this n of f here S conjugate f divided by n naught by 2 times let's say some constant here, okay, e to the power of minus j 2 pi f naught t, sorry, f t naught, and this is 2 by n naught s conjugate of f e to the minus j 2 pi f t naught, and then let me call some constant c, so c times s conjugate of f times e to the minus j 2 pi f t naught. Now for the time being, let us forget about this constant, okay, let us assume this constant c equal to 1. It doesn't matter when you choose c equal to any value. Then finally you will get your transfer function of the filter equal to s conjugate of f times e power minus j 2 pi f t naught. So now when I say, when I say the sampling time instant t naught equal to 0, then you will end up with g of f equal to s conjugate of f. So this is a more general expression. This is a really, a more general expression, or we can say matched filter transfer function. Okay, so the signal is matched to the transmitted. The filter transfer function is matched to the signal itself. So this is called a matched filter. So matched filter transfer function is s conjugate of f, and this is a matched filter. And when you write g of f is equal to s conjugate of f divided by n naught by 2, this is a more general case. More general case. More general case, and no, this is not more. This is a white and matched filter. I am sorry. White and matched filter. Therefore, the white and matched filter is obviously more general than the matched filter. Okay. So this is a matched filter, and this is a white and matched filter, and this one is white and matched filter. Now the next one is, before that, let me give some more points about this. Wait a minute, let me write properly. This is more general. This one is more general. Okay, and this is called a white and matched filter. White and matched filter. So therefore white and matched filter is obviously more general than the matched filter. So this is a matched filter. Okay, because this is a specific case actually. What is a specific case? Okay, when the input noise is white. Okay, input noise is white. When input noise is white, then we can say this is matched filter. So matched filter is nothing but it's a special case when the input noise is white. Okay, white Gaussian noise. In that case, you'll express this condition. So when I say white Gaussian noise, it is n of t. When you take Fourier transform, you'll get power spectral density, that is n naught by 2. So if you substitute n naught by 2, finally you'll get this expression. So this is the special case. Special case, and this is a general case. General case. Instead of writing n naught by 2, let me say this is n of f. I'm sorry. N of f. More general case. Okay. Next, let me talk about output signal to noise ratio. Output signal to noise ratio. Now you have a filter. Input is V of t, which is a contaminated signal. Okay, noise is adding here, and this is your transmitted signal A times S of t, and here the impulse response is G of t. If you take Fourier transform, you'll get transfer function, and that is g of f, and this is your e of t. So here I need to find out what is the SNR, that is my output SNR. So this is what I want to find out, output SNR, signal to noise ratio. Okay, fine. Now let us assume this A times S of t is a unit energy pulse. That means what? If we find out the energy equal to integral A times A square times S square of t times dt, and the symbol exists from 0 to t. So this is going, let me denote by E sub p, which is you take A square outside and 0 to t S square of t times dt, and let us assume this is unit energy. That means what? The energy equal to 1. So this whole thing is going to be 1. So I can say energy of the pulse equal to EP equal to E square. Fine. Now let us keep this aside. Next we will find out the output signal power. Output signal power. Now what is output? Output is input convolved with the impulse response. V of t, you take a convolution of the filter impulse response G of t. Now this is, if you write in the integration convolution integral formula, then G of tau V of t minus tau times d tau minus infinity plus infinity. This is your U of t. Now I want to find out the signal power. See, in this one, if you extend this, we know that V of t is, if you look at the figure, V of t is signal plus noise. So this point is signal plus noise. Therefore, this is G of tau times A times S of t minus tau plus N of t minus tau into d tau. Now what do I want? I want only the signal contribution. I don't want the noise contribution. Right? I want to find out only signal power. Signal power we want now. Signal power, how do you find a signal power? Only from the signal contribution. But I have the noise here. So I need to get rid of this noise. How do I get rid of this noise? You take expectation. If you take expectation, the mean of the noise we assumed 0. Right? So therefore take expectation. So if you take expectation, expected value of U of t, and since expectation is a linear operation, I can take inside the integration. So I'm skipping some intermediate steps. Already have done this steps in one of the previous lecture in the matched filter itself. Therefore let me write down directly. So since G of t is a deterministic and this also deterministic, so therefore A times G of tau, directly I'm writing this S of t minus tau plus G of tau times expected value of N of t minus tau, the whole thing multiplied by d tau, and anyway this is going to be 0 because we assumed 0 mean noise. So this is integral of, you can take A outside, G of tau S of t minus tau and d tau. This is this expected value we denoted by A times R of t. Okay, now this is, now you sample this at it's a waveform, it is a function of t, right? Function of time, and it's a waveform actually. So therefore do the sample, do the sampling. Let us assume like sampling time instant t equal to t naught and the t naught equal to 0. So if you substitute in the above expression, then A times R of 0. So this is a sampled value. Now you'll get a sampled value, maybe voltage or something like this sampled value, which is integral of G of tau times S of minus tau times d tau. Okay, so and we said for matched filter, this G of tau is, yes, we know that G of t is equal to S of minus t, right? s of minus t, therefore you substitute here. So this is integral of s of minus tau times s of minus tau times d tau, and this is equal to, now you can change the variable of no integration. So change the variable, then this is s of tau times d tau minus infinity plus infinity s square. And what about this a? I forgot here. This also a, and here also a. Okay, so this is a times r of 0. A times r of 0 square. This is a sampling value, 1 minute. Therefore output power equal to a times r of 0. Take magnitude on both sides. If you take magnitudes, and this is going to be a square times integral of, no, not a square, a, this is only a only. Why is it a square? No, this is a only, it can't be a square. Why is it a? No, a times a square of tau d tau whole thing. So this I can say a square in this, all integrations from minus infinity plus infinity, a square of tau times d tau, and we assume that unit energy, so this is equal to 1 because our assumption is unit energy. Therefore a square, therefore output signal power equal to, this power is coming due to only signal, output signal power equal to a square. Okay, and what about the noise power? Output noise power, it is done by sigma square, which is n0 by 2 if you assume white Gaussian noise. So output signal to noise ratio is output signal power divided by output noise power. Output signal power equal to a square and output noise power equal to n0 by 2. So this is 2a square by n0. Now this a square we already derived, which is equal to energy of the pulse, we did just now. So if you look at, then EP equal to a square, energy of the pulse, transmitted pulse. Therefore a square is the again energy, the transmitted pulse. Okay, so this 2 times EP by n0, this is your output. S SNR are the output. And no, this is the expression I want to really write, and there are some important lessons to be learned from this expression and from the previous expression for SNR. Okay, so let us see. The SNR equal to, previously we did like this is less than or equal to a square times integral of mod of s of f the whole square times divided by n of f. This expression I derived in one of the previous lecture. So minus infinity to plus infinity, and this is the signal to noise ratio in general case, SNR of general case. General case means what? We are not assuming the noise is white Gaussian noise. Okay, and now when I say when the filter is matched, then this less than or equal to becomes equal. When it is matched, under matched condition, you can remove this less than or equal to, becomes maximum. So a square times s of f modulus square divided by n of f times df, and integrate from minus infinity plus infinity. Now when you take the white noise, then for a white noise n of f equal to n0 by 2, substitute in this expression, then you will get a square times integral of s of f divided by n naught by 2. So this is 2a square by n naught, then integral, this is df into df, and again by Parseval's theorem this is equal to 1, unity. Either you calculate the energy in the time domain or in the frequency domain, so this should be equal to 1. So again you will end up with 2a square by n naught, this is 2 times ep by n naught. Okay, so we have two expressions now. So the first one is s by n is less than or equal to a square times integral of s of f, take mod and square it, n of f times df. This is, let's say, more general case. And the second case is a specific case, a special case. Yes, for when I say special, that means I am considering white Gaussian noise. So this is going to be 2 times ep by n naught. Now let us look at the special case first. This is a more general case. This is a special case. So what do we understand from the special case? Now let us take the special case. In the special case, if you look at output SNR, signal to noise ratio at the output is 2 EP by N naught. So if you notice this expression, the output, if you notice this expression, it depends only on how much energy is contained in the pulse. See, this EP is energy contained in the pulse. Contained in the pulse. That's what we defined. It does not depend what type of pulse you are going to transmit at the transmitter. So it is independent of the specific pulse shape. So the specific pulse shape is of absolutely no consequence in the determination of the output signal to noise ratio. Therefore, a shape of the pulse or any specific shape does not play any role in the calculation of output signal to noise ratio. The only factor which plays to calculate the output signal to noise ratio is how much energy it contains. So therefore, energy contained in the pulse is very important for us to calculate the output signal to noise ratio. It is immaterial what type of pulse you are going to choose it. But if you take the general case, yes, the pulse shape also very important. Okay, so if you take the general case, then if your noise is not white, you take this general case. If this is not white, maybe I'll write down here. In the general case, s by n equal to less than or equal to, you can put less than or equal to integral of s of f times n of f into df. Okay. Now you look at this expression. In this expression, if your noise is not white, then what happens? You can say that the output SNR depends on the pulse shape also. Here, the output SNR depends on the pulse shape. What type of pulse you are going to choose it, and here it does not depend on the pulse shape. It does not depend on the pulse shape, and here it depends on the pulse shape. In the general case, of course, you should take care what type of pulse you are going to use. But in the special case, it does not depend on the pulse shape. Therefore, the pulse shape itself is of little importance in situations where we are mostly dealing with a white noise. So that is a general situation for us in most digital communication environments. Okay, so we always assume that white Gaussian noise. So in that case, the input pulse shape is not important. So one need not to worry about the specific pulse shape. But we have already seen that pulse shape is important for us for the only one reason. What is that reason? In order to take care of intersymbol interference. If you don't properly design the pulse, then the pulse will go and interfere the next bit interval. Therefore, we should be very, very careful while designing the pulse shape such that it should not interfere the next symbol interval. So it is nice to know that we don't have to worry about pulse shape as far as performance against noise is concerned. So if you want to thinking about only noise, then no need to worry about pulse shape, specific pulse shape, because most of the digital communication problem we are going to assume white noise. So in that case, no need to worry about the pulse shape. But as long as we make sure that there is no intersymbol interference. Okay, so we give sufficient energy in the pulse to have a good signal to noise ratio. So therefore the only parameter which is really of importance is energy contained in the pulse. So how much energy you are pumping in the pulse. Okay, and then let us discuss this matched filter transfer function in the time domain. In time domain. See, I said for matched filters, G of f, let me change the color, equal to S conjugate of f, right? If you take the Fourier transform, then G of t equal to S of minus t. And if it is complex, if the signal is complex, then you write S conjugate of minus t. Therefore, the frequency domain and the time domain pair is given below. G of f equal to S conjugate of f, and if you take time domain, S conjugate of minus t. So this is the relation between the time domain and the frequency domain. Now suppose if you want to generalize. So how do you generalize? Say this is a case where t equal to t naught and this sampling time instant t naught equal to 0. Let me say my t naught equal to 0. So in that case, how the expression will vary? Your G of f is equal to S conjugate of f times e power minus j 2 pi f t naught. Okay, then if you take inverse Fourier transform, this is S of S conjugate of minus t plus t naught. Now if there is a minus, then it becomes plus here. So this is going to be S conjugate of t naught minus t. So this is your time domain expression for the more general case. That means what? For arbitrary sampling instant. So this is the most general expression. Okay. Most general expression for matched filter in the time domain and frequency domain. Most general expression. In the time domain. Somebody comes and says, if says that you are doing the sampling at t naught equal to 0, then you'll get back the previous expression. Okay. Now let me finish this lecture with some remarks. The first remark is, if you remember that for the case of white noise, output SNR depends only on the pulse energy. Just a recall, depends only on the pulse energy, how much energy it contains. Pulse energy. Second important point is the nature of the matched filter. Second important point is the output of the matched filter is U of t and the input is V of t. Then this is G of t, right? Now what is U of t? U of t is V of t, the input convolved with the V of t, right? Now if you write the convolution in terms of convolution integral, then this is G of t, right? G of t times V of t minus tau d tau, Okay, and what is g of t? G of t equal to s conjugate of minus I'm sorry, this is tau, right? G of tau into v of t minus tau, v of t minus tau times d tau. Okay, how does it come? From this g of t, like we said g of t equal to s of minus t, s conjugate of minus t, and g of tau equal to s conjugate of minus tau, so that has come here. Okay, so this is the this is the matched filter impulse response. Matched filter impulse response. Okay, so at t equal to 0, what happens? T equal to 0, what happens? It becomes u of 0 equal to integral of s conjugate of minus tau and v of this is minus tau times d tau. Now you change the variables in this integral. Let me put minus tau equal to m, minus d tau equal to dm. Then the limit is from minus infinity to plus infinity. When minus tau goes to minus infinity, then m goes to infinity. Okay, and because minus tau equal to m, right? Then no, sorry, tau goes to infinity, then minus infinity, then m goes to infinity, because m equal to like from this I can say tau is equal to minus m, right? Therefore minus m equal to I'm sorry, 1 minute, let me write down clearly. When tau is equal to goes to minus infinity, then what is tau? Tau equal to minus m. Minus m goes to minus infinity. Therefore m goes to infinity. So this is my lower limit. And then what? The upper limit becomes similarly m is equal to minus infinity. If you do the same exercise, upper limit, right? Therefore your u of 0, which is integral of s of m v of m d tau equal to minus dm, and this is plus infinity and this is minus infinity. Now you interchange the limit, and if this minus and that limit, if you do the interchange of the limit, then those minus will get cancelled. So it is again minus infinity to plus infinity, s of m v of m times dm. Now again change the variable like m to tau, so s of tau v of tau d tau minus infinity plus infinity. So this is my u of 0 sampling at t equal to 0. Now what type of quantity is this? This is something called correlation between the received signal and the replica of the transmitted signal. See, this v of tau is the received signal, and this is the replica of the transmitted signal. Why is it called replica of the transmitted signal? Transmitted signal, because you have pulse a times s of t. So this is your transmitted signal. The same transmitted signal you are making replication in this filter also, because your g of t is matched to s conjugate of minus tau or minus t. So this is the replica of the matched filter. Okay, so the output is correlation of the received signal and the replica of the transmitted signal. Therefore, the output of matched filter at the sampling instant t equal to 0 can be regarded as having been obtained by correlating your received signal with the replica of the transmitted signal. So you could as well replace the matched filter for the purpose of the demodulation by a suitable correlator. So the matched filter is replaced by correlator. So you multiply the two signals, the received signals and replica of the transmitted signal, and then do the integration over the symbol interval. So the correlator job will be to multiply the received signal with the local replica. See, this signal is generated locally, local replica of the transmitted signal, and integrate over the duration of the signal, let's say 0 to t, and then sample it at that instant, like t equal to t naught, where t naught equal to 0. So t equal to 0, we sample it. Therefore one can replace the matched filter with a correlator. So the matched filter can be viewed as correlation between the received signal and the pulse s of t. Okay, and the next remark is, let us talk about A times R of t. What is this? This is the expected value of the output. Expected value of the output. What is the expected value of output? This already I derived, so directly I can write down this expression. So integral minus infinity plus infinity A times s of minus tau and s of t minus tau d tau. Okay, and this is complex. If you take conjugate, then this is plus tau actually. Okay, now if you look at this expression, this is something called autocorrelation function. Okay, so your A times, let me put A times R after this, not 0. Let me rewrite this. T and this is s of tau and s of t minus tau. This I have written directly, this expression. Directly I have taken. Okay, A times R of t is directly proportional to the autocorrelation function of s of t. Okay, so when the input is only signal, see here there is no noise here, no noise contribution. When the input is only signal, the matched filter output will produce an output which is nothing but the autocorrelation function of the input waveform. Okay, and in autocorrelation function we know that the maximum will reach a point where t equal to 0, because autocorrelation function is always symmetrical. If you recall the properties of your autocorrelation function, it reaches the maximum value when t equal to 0, when t equal to 0 reference frame, and it do the sampling at this time instant. So therefore when you put t equal to 0, then A times R of 0, okay, and then it is going to be A times s of tau times s of minus tau and d tau. Okay, therefore we know that the autocorrelation function will reach the maximum, or it attains the peak value, and that peak value occurs corresponding to 0 line, 0 reference line. So this is the 0 reference line, because the autocorrelation function is even symmetrical. Okay, so therefore for the matched filter, for the situations where the input contains only the signal, which will produce an output which is nothing but the autocorrelation function of the input signal, because the input because the impulse response is matched to the same signal. So that's why it is called autocorrelation. Why is it called autocorrelation? Say this s of t is matched with the same signal s of t. That is why this is called autocorrelation function. Okay, so with this I'll stop, and in the next lecture we'll do a simple problem on this matched filter. Okay, thank you very much.